Well, I'm Corey Milon. I am from Fort Worth, Texas, by way of LA, and I'm a singer and a songwriter. And I've been doing music most of my life, and I've been actively pursuing it for about 10 years. And after 10 years, it's finally starting to pay off. But who am I besides that? I'm a family man. I love my family, and I don't know. I'm just a regular old guy, just a regular person.
So you sing.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you sing.
You know.
I feel like a lot of people know that you sing, but you sing. So let's talk about that. What do you have any current kind of projects that you have working on with, singing? Is there anything that you can release to us and talk about?
Well, I have some music I've been recording with a guy named Fetty. He's been managing me. Shout out to Fetty. And yeah, we've been recording at a studio and just like writing songs and trying to get them sent around to see if anybody will bite as far as like buying the record. And I don't care if they buy the hook, if they buy the verse, as long as they buy a piece of that song, I'm all right. But yeah, we've been doing that, trying to get me into the songwriting world, and also we've been recording my music for myself to put on an album. So we were originally going to do an EP, but we didn't think that was enough songs, and he was like, "You're past the EPs now." So,
yeah. So you have an album coming out then?
Well, we don't know when it's coming out, but we're recording it. We've got some songs. Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay. Is that song going to be on the album?
Which one?
I don't want to say anything containing the one that me and Jay were there and we're like, oh my gosh.
I have a song called That Something Something that I did in 2015, and I put that out on my own. I didn't have anyone like behind me, and it went to 17 different countries, and it's been downloaded in like 17 different countries, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I still receive a little check off that, but that for someone with no label backing and no real financial backing behind you, honestly, I was really, really proud of that, and I still am. So that's been a highlight. And then performing Kwanzaa Fest. Kwanzaa Fest was nice. That was cool. It was nice being a part of something that was celebrating my community.
Yeah.
And doing that through song was excellent for me. And let's see, what else? I really enjoyed performing at the Raising the Bar stage for the 97.9 Dub Car Show with Jay Cruz a couple years back. That was cool. Nice guy.
Yeah.
And very supportive. And my most recent highlight, I would have to say, meeting Hollywood Bebe and having him tell me that he supports what me and Fetty are doing. The studio that I was at through Fetty, and I was I guess you call it interning, but I was just kind of like paying my dues, I call it. Like I was being the runner for the studio.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody of note came to the studio and they needed something, I was like booking it to 7-Eleven.
Yeah. Yeah, 7-Eleven across the street.
Yeah, so that was how I met him, and he was really cool, real down to earth, very serious about what he does. But he was very supportive, and I think he genuinely loves seeing the talent from DFW like raising up. You know what I'm saying? I think he shook my hand and told me, he's like, "Hey man, you can sing." He's like, "I support what you and Fetty are doing." And we have the same birthday. That's crazy.
Oh, really?
The exact same birthday.
January.
Mm-hmm.
When's your birthday?
January 24th.
Okay.
87.
So you are
an Aquarius. Yep.
That's why we get along.
Yep. Pisces, right?
Yeah, Pisces.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We act like we don't know.
I know, but we know. We're not strangers, y'all.
Yeah, so you want to talk about that?
Yeah, how we met?
Yeah, how did we met? We've known each other for...
How did we met? How did we meet?
It's like me at the garden outside the other day. Janae and I couldn't talk at all anymore. Kia. I call her Janae Kia. We cannot talk at all anymore.
It's okay.
How did we meet?
I think I was...
Do you remember?
Yeah, I think I was like, in the neighborhood?
Yes.
I was like walking down the street with my headphones and I was just singing at the top of my lungs.
With
and
your
with
iPad.
you and who?
iPod.
That big old white iPod, the old one. The brick phone of iPods.
Yes.
No, I was with you and Ify and Kim pulled up on me.
Yes.
And we're like, "Do you need a ride?" And I was like, "Sure."
And
fast friends ever since.
Yeah. We went through a lot of stuff together. It's been like 16 years.
16 years.
16 years. Holy moly. 16.
I know, dude.
We're still the same.
16 years and 2 kids later.
16 years and 2 kids later. 2 awesome kids later.
Yes, your kids are awesome.
Okay, so I know, like, I feel like I'm kind of all over the place, but that's
It's okay.
just
Let's
how
go
I
with
am as a
it.
person.
I am too. Come on, Pisces. I know this.
So I kind of want to dig deeper.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you to sing something for us in a minute. But we're not going to go there. We're not going to do that right now. First, we're going to dig deeper. What do you feel like was a turning point for you, like where you feel like, I can never be the same person, you know, from yesterday, and I got to do things differently, you know, because this happened? Like,
So what was a catalyst for me, like,
yes,
getting up and being
yes,
like...
that's a perfect way. You're so good with words. What do you feel like that was for you?
So do you remember when I was telling you about the Dub Car show?
Yes.
Okay, I had a manager at that point. We will not name him because he doesn't deserve it. Okay, but he took a lot of money from me and from a lot of other artists. He stole from me.
Oh.
And my parents were investing in me, and he stole from them too. And it was kind of like when we figured it out, it was too late. So it was like, I felt like I had literally like been just like going, and then brick wall, you know, and there was really no way to come back from that. So I thought, so, you know, I sat in that for a moment. I was really upset. I was depressed. I was angry. And then I had a talk with myself, and I was like, you cannot let this stop you. He's not the only manager. And,
was he your first manager that you ever had?
He was the first one that I actually had that I thought was going to do something.
Yeah.
You know.
How long did that relationship last?
Like, what, 3-4 months?
Not long.
Not long at all.
So after that happened, you were just kind of like, it's better just to kind of split?
Yeah, I really kind of just, after that, I was just doing stuff on my own.
Yeah.
You know, taking stuff where I could find it. And then I did that for about 3 years, and then you came along.
Yeah, I came along, and then I quit on everybody.
Hey, but you know what? You were able to do a whole lot in that short time span that you just hopped up and joined the music industry.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do what you did. So I'm not, once again, I need to make this into a t-shirt. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, we had a great run. We were busy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever thought like we would have like crossed paths professionally in that way. That was
I
a
know.
really stressful but a really good time.
Yeah, for real.
I will never forget.
The Pro Cup was cool too.
Yeah, I was about to say the Pro Cup, like just blending both worlds, like dirt bike, you know, racing with R&B, soul.
And a lot of them were like country fans. Like they were like hard country fans.
Hard country fans.
Like, we got in there, we were like,
it was a very different type of atmosphere than what we were used to. But it was really cool because remember they accommodated us. They got us a room
they got
for
us
the
a
weekend.
hotel room.
They made sure that we were welcome. Like it was kind of cool. I was like, oh okay. Like,
and they paid us, y'all.
Yes, and
they paid us.
Definitely, we're co-signing with Kia.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they paid us, girl.
Yeah, they did. They did because you deserved it, you know. And so that was really cool because they had you sing the national anthem out that whole weekend before the races started. And like it was really cool to see because you know I always observe everybody around. It was really cool to see the fan base just kind of like
they stopped what they were doing and they saluted.
Yes, absolutely. You know? And then once that that was done, they like applauded. You know, the fuck out of you. Like they were really.
And you know what was so cool about that? There was no. It wasn't about race. You know, we were literally like one of the only minorities there. It was me, who was black, you, who's Latina. And that was it.
Yeah, no,
everybody else was white.
They made us feel really welcome.
They treated us with respect and dignity. They didn't, you know, I didn't feel like, you know, it wasn't like a dance monkey dance situation and then leave. It wasn't like that. Yeah. They actually stood there and they talked to us. They engaged with us. The guys in the I don't know what to call it. I call it the skybox or the tower.
Skybox?
Yeah, like
I don't know what it's called either.
Well, I had never done anything like that, and it was cool how they did it. I didn't know I was going to be singing on a thing, and it was going to be broadcast through the entire park. That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And but I'm told that they still play it, you know, when they can't get a singer, they still play that one. So that's.
Oh, do they? That's awesome.
I was always trying to put my pen to paper and like exercise my brain and exercise my creative muscle and stay busy. And
so you did a lot of writing, is what it sounds like. So you're your own writer to your songs.
Yeah, if anybody's heard my music, I wrote them all except for the stuff I've been doing with Fetty. Me and Fetty are collaborators. We co-write, but Yeah, I write all my songs.
Do you play instruments? Do you know how to play the flute, the piano?
The flute, that's so random. No,
Is that the flute? No, the flute's like this.
Oh.
See, I don't know.
No, it makes me think of Power Rangers, Ivan Ooze. Like,
I love Power Rangers. Oh my gosh.
So, what was the question?
Do I play the
anything?
flute?
No, I can play the flute, but I'm learning how to. I've never recorded myself. I just didn't. Yeah, I didn't have the. We didn't have the funds for all that.
You have the voice.
Yeah, but thank you. But yeah, I wrote my songs, and when I first started like really pushing the music I was writing, I was doing my own. Remember, we went to Plaza de Americas. I was doing my own photo shoots and stuff, trying to get my album cover.
You got in trouble that day, but you sure did.
Hey,
we
got all that work done. She came like a second too late. She was like, "You can't take pictures here." I was like, "Okay." But let's see. So I kind of play piano by ear. I can play enough to like get a melody down to write something to it, and then yeah, I something you may not know about me. I've been a caretaker to my parents for the last couple of years now. They're both disabled. My mom's partially disabled. My dad is disabled. And I was acting as my own manager at one point, and I was calling around. I booked a show in LA randomly, which I don't know how, but I did.
How was that show for you?
It was cool when I got, well, it was cool for what it was because my cousin showed up. Like all my family, most of my family that I'm real cool with is in LA. And my cousin Kalia, hey Kalia, she came to visit me at the venue that I was at. I can't even think of the name of it, but it was in Culver City.
Okay.
And I came, they didn't have a sound system. They didn't have anything, so I ended up singing a cappella. I flew all the way out there to sing a cappella, but I was happy about it.
Hey, but you know what? Sometimes that's, Corey, I've seen you sing a cappella in rooms, and you shut that down.
Thank you.
So I'm sure that was actually probably better for you.
It was nice. It was surprising.
It was surprising.
You know, but you know what? That was good. To me, I call it was good. It's kind of like character building, you know, because it was adversity and it came up out of nowhere. I was ready to sing to a track. Couldn't do that anymore, but I still had to sing, you know.
So what song did you end up singing a cappella?
I don't even remember.
You don't remember?
It was on the fly. I don't remember.
Sing something right now on the fly.
Let's see. Let me see.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
You like Hero?
Yes.
Okay.
Queen. Mariah Carey.
Okay. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you'll finally see the truth, that a hero lies in you. Don't cry.
That was so pretty.
Thank you, darling. Are you really good? Oh, Sam, give me a hug. It's okay. It's okay.
Because I felt you singing to my soul.
Huh?
You were singing to my soul.
Oh, thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you. No, so take a minute.
Yes, that was so beautiful.
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm glad I moved you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about Gumfest.
Let's talk about Gumfest.
Yeah.
So
Gumfest
how did you feel
awesome.
about that? You won.
I won.
You won.
I won the second Gumfest, right?
You did
the first
amazing. I don't remember we had so many. I felt like.
You did. I think you had about 4 or 5.
Yes.
Like back
But
to
you
back.
definitely. I think it may have been the second one.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yes.
That was you know what was really cool was seeing Emma Oliver perform.
Oh my gosh.
She was amazing. Emma Oliver was amazing. She's still amazing.
Yeah, we recently had her perform at the Carne Asada.
I heard she was at the Carne Asada.
Yeah, she did so good.
She has such a beautiful voice, and it's so raw. Her talent, she's so sweet.
Yeah.
And she's for real about it. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Hi,
I
Emma.
love her.
But
I'm such a fan of her.
Me too. She is a fan in me too. I support her. But yeah, that was cool. That was an honor performing on the same ticket as somebody like Emma Oliver. It's nice to see what she's done.
Yeah.
Since then.
Yeah.
But just that was cool. Seeing Blexx like start as like a brainchild, and then kind of just blossom into like a full-blown company. And then you guys had, you have shows and little events you're putting on, and the events got bigger. And Gumfest to me was, I think, a culmination of everything that you guys had done wrapped up into one.
Yeah.
And it was nice seeing all the different artists that came from, you guys had artists coming from out of state.
Yeah, we did.
Like Louisiana, Georgia.
Yeah, we did.
And I remember the Sacred Feminine was on there.
Yeah.
And
she goes by Texas Cake now.
Texas Cake. Oh, I like that. Texas Cake. Okay.
I love her.
What up, Texas Cake?
I love her so much.
But yeah, so Gumfest performed my song Down. And I did another, that beat was made by 100 on the Beat. Mm-hmm. And then another record that I did called Echoes of the Truth. The beat was made by Campion Bond. Shout out to Campion Bond, also of Blexx Entertainment.
Shout out Camp. He's a pretty dope-ass producer.
He's a genius.
That's so crazy. You knew Camp before I knew Camp.
Way back in like 2010, 2011. Back when I was really like, I'm telling you, I've been at this for years. And like, I had a friend that was going by Louis Contra. And he's brilliant rapper. That guy is a lyrical genius. And he was... The way I met Louis was I was working in the mall, and I was on my way to my lunch break, and I was singing to myself, and him and all his people stopped, and they followed me, and I'm like, what they getting ready to do? And they were like, hey, do you sing? Long story short, he was like, I go to the studio, and I would love to get you in there. Most people have been telling me that, and it never happened, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
He got me in the studio that very next week.
Wow.
The very next week, he had studio time booked, and I always credit him for being the first person to put me in the recording studio as an adult.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'll go back to why I say as an adult in a minute. But so Louis we were recording, and he was like, we're gonna have to get you some music, like so you can put some songs of your own out, because I was just singing hooks on his stuff at one point, and for all his like. Killer Collab, Brandon Myrick. I don't know if you're familiar with him. But yeah, we were part of this troupe called Legendary Empire. And we had all kinds of really good music. We had a record called Welcome to Life that I still love to this day. And he was telling me about this producer that he knew that he got his beats from. And I was like, well, introduce me. And we went out, I think we went to his house one day, or I can't remember if he was with me or if I went with my family. But we ended up going out to, I think he lived in like Mesquite or Duncanville or Garland or some Pleasant Grove.
Somewhere in Dallas.
Somewhere like that. Somewhere out there like Pleasant Grove or something like that. And he showed me his beats. I was sold. And so we did business with him. And from then on, I've always known Camp. Always supported him. He's always been supportive. So it was just crazy when you were telling me about this person, and it was Campion Bond. And I was like,
I remember.
Damn.
Yeah, what a small world.
Small world.
What a small world.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's how I know Camp.
Okay, speaking of back then, and you getting in the studio as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
it triggered the question to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
when did you start singing? How did you know that singing was something that you're passionate about?
I can honestly not remember a time when I wasn't a singer. Like my mom, I come from a really musical family. My mom is a singer. She's a damn good singer. She doesn't like to anymore, just I guess because she's gotten older.
But does she still sing?
She still sings because I won't let her
sing
stop.
one day.
Good luck. She will not do it. But yeah, my mom sings. My dad can sing, but I've always known she could sing. I didn't know my dad could sing until I was 15 because he never told me. He just kind of let me.
Your dad can sing too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Let him tell it he can't, but he can.
I'm going to tell them to sing for me next time.
They sing in church. You got to come to church and catch him.
Okay.
Up there singing, how great thou art, how great thou art. Anyway.
Sing it again.
So my mom taught me how to sing. And my dad never told me he could. He just kind of let me and my mom bond over that. But she sings, he sings. My Uncle Robert that's my dad's brother. He plays the saxophone, and he sings, and he has a jazz band. He had a jazz band called Mirage. I don't know what his band's called now, but yeah. Robert Holbert, look him up, check him out. He's really good. And then my grandmother was a gospel singer. My aunt is a gospel singer and an opera singer. My cousin DeShannon can sing. She can sing and she can write. We wrote a song called Cloudy Days when we were like 15 or no. I think we might have been like 11 or 12
Wow.
when we wrote that song. But yeah, no more cloudy days. The sunshine's gonna rain. We wrote that when we were like
That is so good.
12. Yeah.
Are you gonna publish that?
I don't know. I got to get with her and do it. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the right term?
Yeah, I know. Like, hey, DeShannon. I'm just shouting people out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's that. And then
It's okay.
my grandma on my mom's side, she used to sing in a lounge way back in the day. My uncle Ed, who passed on, God rest his soul, it's my mom's brother. He was really, really big into fashion and into music. And he had a jazz club in the 70s in New York. And he actually died defending his club from robbers, from I don't know what you call them, criminals. I don't know.
He died from defending.
He was in the restroom, and when he came out, he noticed the place was being held up, so he pulled his pistol. And I think the story is that he shot the guy in the front of the store of the club, and there was somebody behind him. And he didn't see that, and they shot him. So, but everybody in my family says that if Ed were still alive, they were like, he'd already have a record deal. Because he knew, apparently Ed knew everybody in L.A. from the homeless man on the street to the rich people in the Pacific Palisades up in the hills and stuff. I don't know how. To me, that sounds like the plug.
He's very well connected.
That sounds like the plug. I don't know what kind of plug, but that sounds like the plug. Okay? But they always, music and all of that has always been in my family. So I always knew I wanted to sing. And my first introduction to a recording studio was, I think I was like 7 or 8. And do you remember an R&B group called Silk?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
There's a song they have called Silk's Nursery Rhyme. And if you listen to it, there's a bunch of kids singing on the intro, and it's like, hush, little baby, don't say a word. Silk is gonna buy you a mockingbird. And something like that. But it's a bunch of kids, and I was one of those kids. And the way I got into that session was my mom's friend, one of her best friends named Glenda. Her son Aaron was working for Elektra Records at the time, which was like a big R&B label. They had all the groups. I remember back then it was like Elektra, it was Jive, and it was Black Ground Universal. Black Ground was what Aaliyah was on. They all came up at the same time. And he was like, yeah, man, he knew that I wanted to sing, and he got me into that studio session. And it was only like 5 or 6 kids. I never forgot that. And after all the other kids left, they came up to me and they were like, stay a minute. So they let me stay. And I can't remember their names, but I remember it was a guy, he had a ponytail, and he was playing the piano, and he had me come to the piano, and he started playing Hero. That's why I sang Hero. He started playing the song, and I was singing it for him, and he was like, you better never stop singing. So I never stopped. But that was my very first introduction to a recording studio, was with the R&B group Silk.
Wow.
So I don't know. I guess when I saw all the knobs, and I saw the microphones, and I heard how big everybody's voice sounded, and the bug bit me.
Yeah, you're like, I can do this. Like, I belong here.
I just knew I wanted to sing. I hadn't ever picked up a pen to write yet.
Yeah.
But I just knew I wanted to sing, and I remember seeing people like Prince and Madonna and Michael Jackson and Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and all of those people, like. They were my 90s. They were my childhood.
So do you ever feel like have you ever failed at anything, like, within your career?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you name, like, one of those times and kind of just walk me through how you
I mean, every time I trusted someone, or, I thought something was going to happen, and it just completely didn't. I was supposed to have one of my records, that song, that something I told you about. That was supposed to be on a compilation, like on a compilation of new artists. That was going to be it was supposed to be put all over the world. And for whatever reason, it never happened. Whoever was putting it together, whatever deal they had with whatever label completely fell apart. And it was in complete dissolution. And it just didn't happen. The lady who was going to do it, she went ghost on me. I've had people reach out to me and say that, you got it, kid. You got it. You got it. You got it. And then it's like, they're trying to get something too, and they're really not there to help, you know. But you don't find this out until you're like so deep into it that you're kind of at their mercy, you know. And it's just situations like that. What have I failed at? I think fear has held me back, you know, because there have been a lot of
fear of what?
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure.
Fear of failure. Fear of, you know, are they gonna like me? You know, or is it gonna like? Is this gonna be good? And then it's like that you feel that way, and then like when you get on stage and I see the reaction, but it's like all the shit that you go through before that one moment of getting on stage. It's nice reassurance. I consider it to be like a blessed reassurance when you get up on stage and you sing and it's like received well, you know, and you got people wanting to know more about you. But it's like the moments when you're not on stage, when you're just living your life, you know, that's when you need that blessed assurance. And that brings me to God. You know, that's how I get through those failures, is my faith in God. If I did not have God, I would probably be dead right now. I kid you not, I would have probably taken myself out years ago. Yes, years ago.
What went through your head that made you feel that way?
Well, when I was about Mila's age, when you're like 15? 14? So when I was about 13, 14, I was getting like bullied bad in school. I mean, people were always trying to fight me. I was the only openly gay kid in school. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a target was on my back, and I was one of the only black kids in my school. So those white kids were like, they weren't letting up. And it was racism before I knew it was racism. But it was every day. It was just a lot of stuff. So from that was, I've been bullied early on in my life, but I know how to deal with that shit now.
Yeah.
Before I didn't. It would just constantly like get to me. And, you know, after so much of that, constantly, relentlessly, every day, it starts with you not wanting to get up out of bed. Then it starts with you get up out of bed and you not wanting to go to school. Then it starts with, you know, you don't want to get out of bed at all. And so you don't. And these thoughts start coming into your head, like you're, you know, everything they're saying about me, is it true? And, you know, am I not worth shit? And do I belong in the trash? And am I, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I've had, you know, am I a nigger? That kind of stuff. I've had 13, 14-year-olds call me the N-word.
Oh, my God.
You know, and when you are a 13, 14-year-old, that gets to you. That shit bothers you. You know, kids can be cruel, and that kind of stuff leaves a lasting effect on you into adulthood. You know, I can remember when we lost our home, it seemed like when I was going through all that at school, my parents worked their asses off, okay? But a series of unfortunate events happened. My dad had a heart attack in front of me.
And heart attack in front of you?
Yes, he did. He was walking through the room, and he just stopped mid and just like grabbed his chest and went down. So he had a heart attack in front of me, and he had to retire. And my mom got sick, and she had to retire early. So things happened, and we lost our job. We lost our home. And so around that time, so around 2001, things were going bad, you know. And I just had a crippling fear. Like, I would sleep with a knife under my bed. Under my pillow. You know, because I was afraid somebody was going to
come hurt you?
Yeah, or my family, you know. And so I guess you call it stayed ready. You know, I stayed ready. But
sounds like it. I mean, it's sad that you were driven to feel that way, you know, every single day. Like, I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, the kids at the schools would, like, say stuff to me, like they're going to do stuff to me and, like, come to my house and, you know, they kill me and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I was sleeping with a butcher knife under my bed. Under my pillow, like, waiting for them. You know, that's the kind of psychological warfare. That's what bullying does to people.
Yeah.
They don't get no peace.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like long after you leave, those scars kind of still, and they rear their ugly heads at the most inopportune times. You know, you don't think about it until it's right there in your face, you know, and you're like, whoa, I got issues. You know, I got issues I need to work with. But suicide, that has crossed my, I do not consider myself to be a suicidal person any longer. This was, years ago, 15, 20 years ago. But I still talk about it because I think it can help people,
Yeah.
because that shit happened to me for a reason. Those thoughts crept into my mind for a reason so that I could learn from it and not do it. And I say my faith in God kept me alive because I've always had the belief that my life was not mine to take from me.
Yeah.
That's just the way I believe. Now, if somebody believes that, believes something different, hey, more power to you. I do not judge you. But for me, my life just wasn't mine to take, and I've always known that. And I had to go through the whole, like, hating myself because I was gay, and hating, not telling people, and it just eating me up.
Yeah.
And I've had to go through the family issues.
Yeah. You
With
say that with such passion, and I can
oh
tell
yeah,
it's hurt you, like scarred you.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it does. It doesn't like hold me back.
Yeah.
But I do reflect on that because I think you should remember where you come from.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Nobody's walking around here just Teflon Don, like don't nothing bother them.
So has that played a part into you and who you are now as an adult? Like, do you still deal with that? I know being gay or homosexual, like, is more accepted, and now you see companies and stuff like,
It's nice to see
promoting
it.
pride.
It's
So
nice
how it is nice to see it.
It's nice to see that, like, there are young kids out there that are not gonna feel like I did, because I wish that the public would have greeted you with open arms back then, because they did not. They just did not. My own teachers would say things to me.
Really?
Yes, they would. They would single you out in class. They would say little snide comments that would, oh, Steph, if you just only knew. Like, but it is nice to see that, there's this big conversation about representation. Whether you're, black, brown, Asian, gay, straight, trans, it doesn't matter. I think everyone deserves to be represented. Everyone deserves to have a voice, and everyone deserves the freedom to be who they are. And nobody on this earth has the right to tell somebody that they can or can't do something. Quiet as it's kept, I think all the people that are up in arms about other people need to go and water their own grass, because it's probably dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
While they're tending to everybody else's business.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, and I don't want to understand that.
You just gotta accept that the fact that there's always gonna be people that always have something to say. No matter what you do. What's that saying? Like,
You damned if you do, and damned if you don't.
Peaches juice in the world, but someone's not gonna like peaches.
Yeah. Oh, you can be the juiciest peach in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. The peaches juice. I'm still tired from the carne asada.
It's okay, girl. It's all right. No, like, you're right about that, and you can't let people gonna always be mad about something. They're gonna be mad about something, so let them. You cannot please everybody, and that right there is one thing I had to learn. I think that was the best. That was the best advice that my mom gave me, and one of my other friends, David. David.
Yeah.
Hi, David.
Yeah.
Hi, Roy.
I love them so much.
Loves him to pieces. He's one of my best friends. Known him for about 15, 16 years too. No, 17 years. So, but yeah, he told me, even way back then, he was like, you can't please everybody. And I've had a lot of friends do me dirty. And I had a lot of friends, I've had friends steal from me. I call them friends, but they were not friends, if they could do that.
Yeah.
But I've had former friends steal from me and, stab me in the back, betray me. But the key is to not let it overtake your soul and your mind and your being.
How do you combat that when you feel like, how do you combat the negative stuff in life to where it doesn't, penetrate, like, your positive train of thought and, like, allows you to continue to move forward for your life and you're not stuck there? Like, how do you deal with that when you
Besides the resilience that I keep talking about God, but it's like,
something wrong with that?
Yeah, no, like, besides having a resilience that I think comes from my faith, that I've had to work on. I ain't always been this, like, I ain't bothered about you. I've not always been like that. Having resilience and working on that, and just knowing that You can't please everyone has been a help. And besides that, like, I just also just take on the mindset that I've heard worse about myself from better people. I ain't bothered about what you got to say about me.
Yeah.
Say what you have to say, and you say it as loud as you want, because it will not bother me. That's the way you have to be. Now, that's not to say you can't take constructive criticism. If you can't take constructive criticism, then you might have a problem. But the average like hater on the street got something to say about you, or on social media, or just people doing you dirty. You got to know how to deal with that. And the way to deal with that for me is by prayer. Give it up to God, let it go, and you go on with your life. And you have to take stock of all the things you still have in your life that are meaningful and worth something. Because when you look at everything that you still do have, whatever the hell it was that decided to leave your life, it ain't even going to look like a grain of sand to you. And Maya Angelou, I live by this quote, Maya Angelou, the great Dr. Maya Angelou. And it is, when people show you who they are, believe them. That's it.
Yeah, you tell me that all the time.
All the time, because I live by it. When somebody, I don't care how long you've known somebody, when somebody just hops up and all of a sudden, like, the wool is pulled from over your eyes and they show you who they are, you believe that.
Okay, but I do got a counter to that.
Go for it.
Just because, I believe in that saying, but sometimes too, like, for example, I'm going to use us. We've gotten into our scuffles before.
Right.
You thought I was one way. I thought you were one way. And
no, I thought you were being a certain way. I didn't think you were that way.
So
like,
I was being
you know what I mean?
way. So then that's like the fine line that you distinguish. Or like
yes.
Sometimes, because I find myself
you have to
like,
look
if
at
you're
things.
important to me, I know that you're human and you have a bad moment in life, but I don't want to believe that's who you are. Like, this is just you in the moment. But then there's people that really are that way, and that
absolutely
really are dark and want to just like,
yeah, it's like they have this mindset of like steal, kill, and destroy.
So then there is a difference then, because I mean, I don't know, because I feel like our emotions too, like we say that sometimes out of emotion. So
we're
for
emotional
me,
signs too. So
it's hard to distinguish, like, how do you really know if this person is really like trying to be this negative entity in my life and like trying to, drain me for everything, or it's just like a bad moment in their life? Are they stressed? Are they this? Are they that?
I
like,
also
how do you
think that
distinguish that?
everything that was going on in your life, on top of the people that you had like around you, like some of those artists that were just like pushing and pulling you in different directions, I think that you were moving fast because you were trying to meet the demand.
I was moving fast. I was moving very fast.
You were
That's why
trying to
like,
meet the demand, everything. And I think that you developed kind of like a short fuse during that time, and I think for me, I did too. I think I did too, and both of our fuses just kind of was like, that was it. Yeah, straight up. So no, there's a difference in there's a difference in like acting a certain way and just being a certain way, because that's how you are.
Like your true self to your core.
Like that's you every day, all day, every day, and there's no helping it. Like that's why we're still sitting here today.
Yeah, because there's that understanding, and we had communicated.
Yeah.
See, I just want, because like sometimes, I know that you've been through a lot of stuff, so I like to kind of pick your brain to see like how you think or how you would handle that. Because, that question to me, or that statement, if they show your true colors, believe them. Like, I've always like questioned.
Right.
Am I being
well,
hypocritical?
okay, it's like, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, with courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah.
That's what I live by right there.
Yeah.
You have to know the difference, and everything is not cut and dry. If you don't know the difference, then you might have a lot of problems all the time.
So let's kind of steer into a different direction. Kind of like, so when you go through type of negative things in your life, you feel like it gets heavy. Like, what do you do to like take a break from it? Do you believe in like traveling? Do you believe in meditation? Do you do yoga? Like, do you like go and eat?
Good old prayer, honey.
Just praying, and
I don't do all the yoga and the I don't do all that. I just pray. Jesus saves lives, and Jesus loves to do it. Okay, no, like honestly, I just pray. I pray, or I'll talk to someone about it, whether it's like my mom, my dad, or my close friends. I will talk to somebody. I've gotten a lot better at opening up. I used to keep a lot of shit in, because I used to live by the whole, nobody wants to hear my shit.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear me complaining. Like, why am I going to, you know? But that's not healthy. And you do have to have some type of an outlet. So I pray about it, and I try not to. My dad always says, never let the sun go down on your anger, you know, which is really good. You know, you don't want to go to bed angry.
Yeah.
Because you wake up angry, you know?
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's me.
see,
It like sulks in, and I wake up, I'm like, don't talk to me.
nah, see, you gotta stop that,
Yeah.
you know? But for me, I listen to music, or, I don't know, watch Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is the comfort.
Yeah,
the
like
comfort zone.
I'm a history nerd too. Like I love just learning about, you know, world history. I
So
don't
like
know
what?
why.
Things like what?
Just I love to learn about just different conquests and I don't know, different royal families, like ancient royal families, and you know the wars and things like that, and just how it's a whole totally different world. So it's intriguing. So it's like my that's my escapism, you know.
Yeah.
Either that or the Real Housewives. I watch that with my family because it's a trip watching those rich women act a complete fool on TV. That is just the funniest thing in the world. But yeah.
You know, I got a taste. I can't look at Pompeii the same because I got to taste a little bit of that when we went to Denver.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about. I want to know like how you felt about Denver because I made you pretty much go on this trip with me, and you're like, here goes Stephanie with her nature shit.
I was like, she can have us in the damn mountains. Like, what the hell am I doing in the mountains? But
Here
we are.
So how did you feel the first time you saw?
Well, when we got out of the
Rockies?
airport.
Yeah, that was a horrible experience.
I was already sold because it was snowing.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like, oh my God. I was like, yes.
And the weed.
Oh God, and the weed.
All that weed.
All that. Oh no, all that
smoke.
weed you left behind.
Yeah.
Okay. Leaving all those damn pre-rolls in there like that.
We're not going to talk about that.
Hey, you know what? The housekeeper, she got a gift that day when she came in there. But yeah, Denver was beautiful. Denver was so nice. The people were so nice. The food was bomb.
Yeah.
And the scenery was incredible. I mean, I had never been into the mountains like that.
How did you feel when you saw them?
You mean like going up the mountain to get there?
Yeah,
or like
everything when you saw it.
It was beautiful. I just feel like I would live there if I could.
Yeah.
and the way that the terrain is there, it looks like stepping into a Christmas card. It really looked like stepping into a Christmas card. When we were driving over the hills to get into the national park, the Rocky Mountains National Park, and like all the snow and the trees and the rolling hill, we don't have that. We just don't have that.
We don't have that at all. It was so beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was. The air was crisp. I'm asthmatic, so that was the highlight for me, not having to use my inhaler one time.
Yeah.
You know, that was really cool. And it was just nice. It was peaceful. It was, for me, it was kind of spiritual. It was relaxing.
Healing.
Mm-hmm. It was healing, like just being up there and seeing the 360, the view.
Dude, there's nothing like it.
I don't even have the words. I'm stumbling over it. Like,
I'm really glad that we got to experience that. I'm glad that, you know, we did that together. I felt like we bonded greatly.
Mm-hmm. We did.
We had no choice but to, like,
girl,
help
it was
each
us.
other.
We're going to figure that out and get stuck in the mountains.
We got to the hotel room and you pull out a whole Lysol can. I'm like, how did you get that through security?
Listen, I don't play games about this damn virus. If you're going to get me on a plane, I'm taking Lysol. And no one's taking it from me.
That is so funny.
No, I liked it. Honestly, I really enjoyed when we got to that first perch, when we could see all the different mountains.
Yeah.
The sun, the way the sun shines up there is totally different.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like,
that was just incredible. That was really, really, really cool.
And the way the snow was falling, it was
like falling off the trees.
Yeah, it was just all over the place, but it wasn't like inconvenient, you know.
It was kind of scary going up the mountain.
Yeah,
because they didn't have any rails.
There. Yeah, that was scary. I was freaking out driving.
Yeah, why did they not have rails? Whose idea was that? But we got up that mountain. But remember, I had to like make you get in the car so we could leave because you were trying to get too much footage, and I'm like, girl, They close this place down at 5. I'll be
Yeah.
damned if I get stuck in this. If we get stuck in this national
Yeah, it got
park.
really dark.
It got
really
dark fast.
Dark.
We barely made it out of that park.
Imagine if we hadn't.
I can't. We'd have probably been stuck. We probably would have had to stay in that national park overnight and probably stay in the same spot because we couldn't have driven down the mountain.
Dude,
because it would have been
we'd had a
pitch
moose
black.
tumble our car over.
Speaking of them elks or whatever that.
Oh yeah, we saw elks out there.
And you just walking up to them like they won't back kick you.
They didn't though. They just were looking at me, and I got really good footage for our
Them
video.
elks, man, they were huge. I didn't know they were that big.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were that big.
Yeah, mooses are bigger.
Them thing were looking at us
Bears.
like, if you come over here, I swear I'm gonna hurt you. But it was cool though.
Yeah.
It was cool.
We
And
gotta,
Estes
we
Park
gotta,
was nice.
yeah, Estes Park. We definitely got to do another trip soon. I
Mhm.
want to go to Montana like within the next 2 weeks.
Ooh, I'm down.
I want to go. But anyway, do you want to touch base a little bit what we can expect from you? Where can, our listeners find you?
You can find me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Corey Milon. Very simple. I will be releasing some new music very soon, and I will keep you updated on my Instagram.
Okay.
And you can find, you type in that something something on Spotify, and I got to change my name on Spotify. I was going by
Okay.
Corey Taylor, but I
We
forgot
got to
about
change it tonight because you're announcing it.
I know, right? But they can find it, hey, Corey Taylor, look up Corey Taylor, that something something on Spotify, and give me a stream. And yeah, but I got to change it because I didn't, when I signed it up with my copyrights and all that, with ASCAP and BMI and all that, I didn't know about Corey Taylor from 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, yeah. I remember
He
that.
spelled his name exactly like I do.
I remember you. I remember you by Corey Taylor. I should have asked you that, but we'll say that for another day.
No, yeah, ask me. I'm here.
So why did you change from Corey Taylor to Corey Milon?
Because somebody has my name. Yeah, and I felt like one, I didn't want people to be like confused. People were telling me they would be looking me up and they'd find be like, who is this white guy?
Yeah,
and
9
I'm
Inch
like,
Nails.
yeah, until I had to look it up myself and find out that this is why they can't find me. So I changed it for that reason, and also I wanted something that was unique, and I didn't want anything I had to make up. My real name is Corey. My real last name is Miles, but Miles comes from the last name Milon, which actually it comes from Milo, which comes from Milon.
Is that Italian? It sounds
It's
Italian.
a mixture of Italian and Scottish.
Italian and Scottish?
I don't know how the two meet, but they do.
I need to look up what that means.
Yeah, it's a mixture of like Italian and like Italian, Scottish, and Gaelic. And I know that the Miles family came with the Normans during the Norman conquest in 1088 when the Normans came to claim the crown of England.
I don't know who the Normans are, but it sounds
I don't know who they are either.
royal
I just know that they
and
apparently
gory.
became royalty. No, I'm not royalty. I just know that the Miles came with the royal household. Okay, that's all I know.
We're going to have to do our research after this.
But I'm sure they weren't black. I'm sure that
Back then the last names like Taylor, like if you were, Taylor Clothes or like, fishing or hook or whatever, like that's where a lot of the last maybe
yeah, they
walked
would
a
whatever
lot.
your trade was.
Maybe
like
Miles
carpenter?
walked a lot. Huh?
Yeah, like the last name Carpenter or Woodsmith or something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
I'm curious now.
I
kinda
am
wanna
too.
know. But yeah, I think it flows better with who
we
you
should
are.
go. We should go to Scotland and look up the archives and see where my last name comes from.
Let's go.
That's one hell of a suggestion.
Like,
Let's just go to
literally
Scotland.
go to Scotland. I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yes. Well, yeah. So you guys find me on Instagram and Facebook, Corey Milon. I had a Twitter, and it was hacked into. I don't know who it is, and I can't get into it. So if you see me on there, it's not me. They're on there begging for money on Cash App now. I don't know who these people are. But, yeah, that's where you can find me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you guys for
I'm
having
glad that
me.
we were able to do this.
This was a pleasure. I want to do this more often. So,
Okay.
thanks for having me.
Okay. Okay, good.